your favorite truck movie? Number 1, Smokey and the Bandit. Number 2, White Line Fever. Or number 3, Convoy. Or wait, could your favorite starring truck be a TV star? Number 1, Moving On. Or number 2, BJ and the Bear. I'd like to know. So drop your favorite in the comments below and go on and smash that like button. Personally, I liked BJ and the Bear. Just something totally likable about a guy running around the country in a truck with a chimpanzee riding shotgun. BJ and the Bear was aired on NBC in the late 70s to the early 80s. To be more precise, from February 10th, 1979 to May 9th of 1981. This was at the very pinnacle of the trucking and CB radio craze that swept the nation in the 1970s. BJ and the Bear followed on the heels of all of those successful movies and was quite successful in its own right. The show starred Greg Evigan as Billy Joe McKay, aka BJ McKay. BJ was a professional owner-operator running about the country hauling whatever he could for $1.50 a mile. His truck was a fancy red and white 1978 Kenworth K100 Aerodyne and 40-foot refrigerated trailer. BJ was a Vietnam veteran and prisoner of war after his helicopter went down. During the war, he flew a medical chopper and earned several medals for valor. While he was a resident of the Hanoi Hilton, BJ befriended a chimpanzee, and once he was released, he brought the chimp home with him. BJ named the chimp Bear after the famed University of Alabama football coach, Bear Bryant. Like so many veterans, BJ came home but couldn't sit still. BJ then hit the road with his little buddy Bear. And this is where the show picks up, with BJ's life on the road. Each episode dealt with BJ getting mixed up with some trouble in the area he was trucking through. This trouble usually included a beautiful young woman and a corrupt law enforcement officer. Trouble seemed to follow BJ everywhere he went. In the first season, the favored corrupt lawman was Sheriff Elroy P. Lobo. His character seemed to be patterned after Dirty Lyle from the movie Convoy. Lobo was played by seasoned actor Claude Akins, who had given up his truck driving job when the show Moving On was canceled. See my video about Moving On with the link below. While the name on BJ's truck's door said Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the first 2 seasons were set in Georgia. This made it easy to come up with stories about corrupt sheriffs, as the South was stereotyped. In fact, many of the stories were folklore and other tales from the South, which made for great television. Each episode found our hero in trouble, but came out triumphant at the end. Not only did he outsmart the police, he got the pretty girl. BJ made a location change in the 3rd season to Los Angeles, where he was running Bear Enterprises, and butting heads with Rutherford T. Grant, played by Murray Hamilton. Grant was the corrupt head of the California Special Crimes Action Team, which he used to stifle any competition to TransCal, which Grant was a silent partner. Now, let's head on over to the rock quarry and look at IXO Model's release of BJ's cab-over Kenworth tractor and compare it to the very old Liberty Classics release. And here we go, guys. These are the Kenworth K100s for BJ McKay's truck from BJ and the Bear. We have this one over here that was made by Liberty Classics, and it came with a trailer painted up to look like his trailer, even though it's not quite the right length, but it does look good, and it is by Liberty Classics. Over here, on this side here, we have the IXO version of just the cab. All they did was the cab. They didn't have a trailer. They don't even have a trailer in their lineup, but I suspect at some point we're going to get a trailer that's painted right for it. And in the back is the way the IXO comes in its box. It is a little display case in a window box. IXO, it's got info about the model right there on the base plate. IXO right up on top. And underneath, we got the item number. And yes, these are still available while supplies last on my website. They made 1,200 of them, as near as we can tell, and they have sold really quick at IXO, mainly because of the paint job. So if you want one, grab it while you can still get it. They are also just plain screwed down to the base plate. Now, as far as trucks go, you're going to notice right off the bat, they're actually modeled after two different versions of the K100. This one here has the round headlights like he had. This one here has later model K100 rectangle headlights. But look at the size of the cab. This cab is much smaller than this one. It's also a flat top with an air dam, while the IXO over here has the Aerodyne with the windows up top. Now, as far as being BJ's, they're not quite right, because BJ had clear glass up there in the TV show because they wanted all the light they could get into the sleeper. That might also be partly why they chose the K100. Besides, I'm sure Kenworth gave them a sponsorship here. We got chrome individual piece air horns on top, whereas the Liberty Classics only has molded in ones. They have round, and these have the square, which is classic of the 80s, was this rectangular horns on air horns. Molded in roof lights, individual, well, almost individual, but they're extra part head roof lights here with the little tampos orange for the lenses, and then chrome plated for the back. Well, these are just all painted in gray. Both have hard ABS windows, and they look like they have the two-piece window design. These really are two-piece windows, whereas this is a single piece behind the bar. There's a windshield wiper molded onto the window there, whereas this one has the lovely, wonderful photo-etched windshield wipers. Now, they're put on much better than the Neos, but still, you could easily flick them off. This one has a red Kenworth logo, while the Liberty Classics has a black Kenworth tampoed logo. Both have nice grills, and they have basically the same graphics. You can see the red and the gold striping going around, although the IXO did a little better job on the graphics. Interiors both have dashboard, steering wheel, and seats. This one is a little more defined. You can better see it. Not really the way it is right now, but you can see it if you look through the windows. Also, there is a little bit of a sleeper detail in there that you can see through the window. This one has antennas. Liberty Classics did not put antennas, but IXO did. It's kind of a neat little feature. It's kind of a detail that it's going to get broken easy. Trust me. They're chrome plated onto the mirrors, just like the chrome mirrors over there. And that detail will get broken. Let's unhitch the trailer here. And Liberty Classics just had fold down landing gear instead of screw down landing gear. No biggie. To the sides, we can see, let's see, we have white mud flaps here, as you can tell, black ones there. We have the red center caps, just like BJ had on both trucks. Soft rubber tires and 10-hole wheels. For once, I think the IXO wheels are better than the Liberty Classics, but then again, Liberty Classic wheels come from the mid-90s, so they are a much older wheel design altogether. The whole truck came from back in the day. Graphics. Both did pretty good graphics. I think the Liberty Classics, the numbers here are a little bit better than they are here, but this is the shorter
sleeper. This one here is only like the 86, 88-inch sleeper that Kenworth single bunk sleeper, whereas this is the 108-inch double bunk Aerodyne, which is what BJ had. He had the big sleeper on it. So this one, again, more correct. The upper grab bar they didn't tampo, while they tampoed it silver. Not great job, but they tampoed it. Chrome steps to climb up in with the grab bars. Yep, they're slightly different, but the 86 inches had a slightly different step than the 108 inches. Get fuel tanks on both of them. You get your air cleaner here, but you don't see an air cleaner on that one. Frames. This one has, over here, Liberty Classics did an actual frame, whereas, well, it's two-piece frame. It's got a fifth wheel that pivots, and then parts underneath. Nice little chrome deck plate, and chrome deck plate on the Liberty Classics as well. But the Liberty Classics just has a solid frame, and their kingpin is for their big knot that locks in place trailers that was very common in the 90s, and I wish they had never gotten that, but it kept the trailer hitched to it. On to the back. Again, IXO, way better. It has the twin stacks plus the single air intake that BJ had on his truck, and then the air tank over there. They were chromed on his truck just like they are here. He chrome half fenders, or yeah, he didn't run those. He had quarter fenders, but no quarter fenders here. They've got the Kenworth logo mud flaps there, and then he's got black ones on the IXO. Then there's a Wisconsin license plate, brake lights all along. I don't know why they insist on putting a brake license plate back there. It should be on the front bumper, but there's a problem. BJ actually ran Kenworth logo mud flaps. He also had BJ McKay mud flaps on his trailer. Liberty Classics, their tooling only had a single stack, so it's not quite right. Like this cab, when it came out, was a great cab. It was one of the best K100s that had been done. And then now, look, they've just blown them away with IXO. DCP even did a great job, but I think the IXO still beats the DCP. We got your battery box here, fuel tanks, chrome bands. They did a great job at IXO. Liberty Classics did a great job. These were made, and they came and went incredibly fast with the trailer. I can't wait for IXO to come out with a vintage 40-foot, 45-foot trailer to go behind this cab. It will be so, so cool. Another one I'd love is a 48-foot trailer. Nobody does 48-foot, so let's hope for that. But we could get 40 or 45, and it would be just perfect. And then the Liberty Classics trailer. Well, let's continue on the trucks underneath. Underneath, neither one of them has steerable axles, so no problem. Better tread pattern on the IXO. Okay tread pattern here. Very, very basic detail. Let's see, 9342. I believe that would have been 934. No, I don't even know what that number is. We've got underneath just basically nothing. Molded in cheap detail. Over here we got differentials, drive shafts, differentials, or drive shafts, bottom of the engine, transmission detail, all nice. Then they got that hole there and there. Those were how they screw it to the base plate. And there's another screw there that helps screw the cab down. No steering, but really nice detail underneath. No working suspension, but you know what? That actually works in our favor. The working suspension is not all that great. In the front, we do have that license plate from the TV show, and overall, a great looking truck. Now for the trailer back here, which I'm not going to spend much time because IXO didn't make a trailer, but it has the nice 4-color paint scheme. The red, the white, black with gold pinstriping. His trailer did have a door, so they just tampoed it on. Unfortunately, this trailer does not have mud flaps. The tooling never had mud flaps, so it couldn't have the BJ McKay mud flaps that were on the back. It should say BJ McKay there. And then it's got the back doors, which, nice detail. It's got the reefer on the front, as you can see, and then the steps. You know, it's a basic trailer, but it was a great trailer back in the 90s when it came out. All right, now, we know it hooks to Liberty Classics. I don't think it'll hook to this one because that kingpin is definitely not going to hook up. kind of a shame because it would look cool behind it, except for the fact that this trailer is considerably narrower than the IXO truck. Yes, the IXO could have been modeled after an 8-foot wide truck, and the other one is after an 8'6", but it is smaller. In the 90s, 64 scale was actually smaller than it is today, so that's why the trucks don't exactly match up. But overall, Liberty Classics, yes, it's an older tooling, and it did a good job. But man, did IXO knock it out of the park with this one. Ain't that sharp all around. They got the graphics nailed, the license plates. Man, they did a perfect job. We just got to get them to get a trailer. Guys, tell IXO we need a trailer. And grab one of these while they're still available on my website, farmtoysandmore.com.
Season 3 was the end of BJ and his buddy Bear's adventures on the road. Sadly, the show ended with only 47 episodes. And even worse, the show has never been re-released on any medium. Lucky for us, the home VCR was available when the show began airing, and some owners recorded it to tape. This has led to a few bootlegged copies being available here and there. Thanks guys for watching. Remember, I've still got a few of BJ's K100 Kenworths on my website, farmtoysandmore.com. So get one in the shop below while supplies still last. I'm Logan, and I'll be back next week with another long-awaited release in 64 scale from the movie that started it all for the trucks in the 1970s.